Super Mario Bros. Was one of the first games I experienced in my childhood. I used to watch my neighbor play, getting more drawn in with every level. I still remember one thing clearly, Lucky 2 throwing those spiky things from the sky, and honestly, Lucky 2 still shows up in my dreams sometimes. Later, we got a Nintendo Entertainment System at home. My sisters played and I kept watching. But at some point, I picked up the controller myself, and it was probably the first game I ever truly tried to play. The excitement and sense of discovery from that moment still stay with me. It was an incredible experience. Now, we return to a modern reflection of that feeling. Let's take a closer look at New Super Mario Bros. Together. Why New Super Mario Bros. Changed everything. Before this game, 2D Mario was almost gone. For years, Mario had evolved into a 3D icon. Games like Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Sunshine redefined platforming in 3 dimensions. They were revolutionary, no doubt about it. But somewhere along the way, the classic 2D Mario experience, the one that started it all, quietly faded into the background. And then, in 2006, something unexpected happened. A small, dual-screen handheld brought it back. The world before the comeback. In the early 2000s, the gaming industry was shifting fast. Consoles were getting more powerful, graphics were becoming more realistic, and 3D worlds were the standard. Players wanted immersion, open environments, cinematic experiences. And Mario followed that trend. Nintendo focused heavily on 3D entries, pushing the boundaries of what platformers could be. But while innovation thrived, something was missing. The simplicity, the instant fun, the pick-up-and-play magic of 2D Mario. Meanwhile, Nintendo was preparing for something new. A handheld that would change the way people played games. The Nintendo DS. With its dual screens, touch controls, and portability, it wasn't just competing with power, it was competing with accessibility. And for that strategy to work, Nintendo needed something familiar, something timeless. Why 2D Mario had to return? Creating a new 2D Mario wasn't just nostalgia. It was a strategic move. Nintendo understood that not every player wanted complex 3D navigation. Not everyone had time to learn mechanics or explore huge environments. Many players wanted something immediate, something intuitive. And nothing was more intuitive than running to the right and jumping. That's the genius of Mario. The original Super Mario Bros. Didn't need tutorials. It taught you everything through design. And Nintendo wanted to bring that philosophy back, but modernized. So instead of reinventing the formula completely, they refined it. They kept the core and evolved everything around it. Gameplay? Simple, but not basic. At first glance, New Super Mario Bros. Looks like a classic Mario game. Run, jump, avoid enemies, reach the flag. But underneath that simplicity, there's a lot more going on. For the first time in a 2D Mario game, players could perform wall jumps. This single mechanic added verticality and freedom that older games didn't have. Then came the power-ups. The Mega Mushroom, turning Mario into a giant, unstoppable force, destroying everything in his path. The Mini Mushroom, shrinking Mario and completely changing how levels were played, allowing access to hidden paths and secret exits. These weren't just gimmicks. They were design tools. Each new mechanic expanded how players interacted with levels, encouraging experimentation and exploration. And that's where the game truly shines. Boss design and progression. Another layer that strengthens the experience is the boss design and how it supports progression. While the bosses may seem simple compared to modern standards, they serve a clear purpose, reinforcing what the player has learned. Each encounter tests timing, positioning, and pattern recognition in a straightforward but effective way. Instead of overwhelming the player with complexity, the game focuses on consistency, making every victory feel earned rather than accidental. Level design. The real masterpiece. The brilliance of New Super Mario Bros. Isn't just in what you can do, it's in how the game is built around it. Every level feels carefully crafted to introduce an idea, challenge the player, and then evolve that idea. You might start with a simple platforming challenge. Then the game adds moving platforms, then enemies, then a twist like low gravity or tight spaces requiring precision. This gradual progression keeps players engaged without overwhelming them. It's design that teaches without speaking. And it's incredibly effective. Secrets and exploration. Another important detail that often gets overlooked is how the game uses secrets to reward curiosity. Hidden exits, invisible blocks, and alternate paths are placed in a way that makes players feel smart for discovering them. This design choice creates a sense of exploration without ever breaking the core simplicity of the game. You're not forced to explore, but if you do, the game quietly rewards you. That balance between optional depth and straightforward progression is one of the reasons players kept coming back. Why it was so successful. New Super Mario Bros. Wasn't just a good game. It was a perfect fit for its time. The Nintendo DS was designed for quick sessions. You could play it on a bus, during a break, or before bed. And this game matched that perfectly. Levels were short. Controls were intuitive. Failure wasn't frustrating, it was motivating. This made the game accessible to everyone. Hardcore players could chase secrets and perfect runs. Casual players could enjoy simple progression. And new players could jump in instantly. That balance is rare. And it's one of the biggest reasons the game sold over 30 million copies worldwide. Social experience and replay value. The multiplayer and minigame elements also played a subtle but powerful role in the game's success. Sharing a Nintendo DS with friends, competing in small challenges, or simply watching someone else play added a social layer that many single-player platformers lacked. It wasn't just about finishing levels, it was about experiencing the game together. This helped New Super Mario Bros. Feel bigger than it actually was. Handheld gaming perfection. New Super Mario Bros. Also stands as one of the best examples of handheld game design done right. Everything from level length to save systems is built around short, flexible play sessions. You can make progress in just a few minutes yet still feel satisfied. This design philosophy perfectly matches the portable nature of the Nintendo DS, turning small moments of free time into meaningful gameplay experiences. Visual clarity and design philosophy. There's also something to be said about the visual direction. Instead of chasing realism or pushing hardware limits, the game focused on clarity. Characters are easy to read, environments are clean, and every object serves a gameplay purpose. This clarity ensures that players always understand what's happening on screen, which is critical in a fast-paced platformer. It's a reminder that good art direction isn't about complexity. It's about communication. Sound and feel. One of the most underrated aspects of New Super Mario Bros. Is its sound design. The music isn't just background noise. It's part of the gameplay. Enemies move rhythmically. Sound effects respond instantly. Everything feels alive. This creates a feedback loop that keeps players engaged. Even something as simple as collecting coins feels satisfying. And that's not accidental. It's carefully designed. A massive impact. The success of this game did more than revive 2D Mario. Created a new era. Following its release, Nintendo doubled down on the formula. New Super Mario Bros. We introduced multiplayer chaos. New Super Mario Bros. You expanded the experience further. Suddenly, 2D Mario wasn't a thing of the past. It was the future again. And other developers took notice. The industry began to embrace simpler, more focused experiences alongside big cinematic games. Does it still hold up today? So, nearly 2 decades later, is New Super Mario Bros. Still worth playing? The answer is simple. Yes, because great design doesn't age. The controls are still tight. The levels are still fun. The pacing is still perfect. It may not have the visual spectacle of modern games, but it doesn't need it. The strength is in its design, and that never goes out of style. A turning point for the industry. In many ways, New Super Mario Bros. Represents a turning point, not just for Mario, but for the entire industry. It proved that returning to fundamentals could be just as impactful as innovation. While other games were racing toward bigger and more complex experiences, this one quietly showed that simplicity, when executed perfectly, can still lead the way forward. Final thoughts. New Super Mario Bros. Didn't just bring something back. It reminded the industry of something important. Games don't need to be complicated to be great. They don't need massive worlds or endless mechanics. Sometimes, all you need is a character, a direction, and a jump. If you enjoyed this and want more deep dives like this, be sure to subscribe to Retro Game Stories. Every week, we revisit the games that shaped an entire generation and explore why they still matter today. And your opinion matters too. Drop a comment and tell me your experience with this game or which game you'd like to see next.